Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in for another episode. Today I've got a bait. I don't know if it's new. I don't know if it's been around for 10 years, but it's new to me, and it's something that solves a major problem when you're spinnerbait fishing. And I can't tell you how disappointed I am that I just found out about this bait. And maybe you guys have known about this for a while. But a little background story here. So over the course of my career in tournaments, I've had two giant fish hit my bait as it was stuck in a bush, meaning I cast the spinnerbait into the bush, I'm working it out, and the spinnerbait gets hung on like a small little branch of the bush. And when I say branch, I'm talking not like buried in the bush where I'm not moving the bush, but I'm talking about where you've got one little branch and the hook of the spinnerbait grabs it and you're just like pulling on the branch trying to get it out. I've had two giant bass in tournaments come up and hit my bait while it was stuck in that branch. And both times that's happened, I have not landed the fish. The first time the fish came up and hit it, didn't get it, and I was actually moving towards the boat to get my bait back. The other time, the fish actually got it off the branch, and I set the hook, and it was like he had it with the branch in his mouth, and therefore I ended up losing that fish. I would estimate both fish to be 6 pounds, maybe bigger. I can tell you this, in the tournaments I was in, they would have been a huge difference maker. And it's one of the biggest issues I have with spinnerbaits. You know, spinnerbaits are such great baits for generating strikes, but you can't get them through the cover really well. And yes, they are pretty weedless for a bait with an exposed hook. But the reality is, if you throw it into a laydown or you throw it into a bush, chances are you got a good shot at getting hooked up. It's not like you're fishing a Texas rig through that area. But a lot of times the fish want that bait. They want those blades to cling off, you know, the branch or to cling off part of the tree, or when you bring it up over a limb, that fluttering motion is what generates the strikes. Well, guys, recently I had a bait that was brought to my attention from a friend who fishes the local river here, and he's been crushing them on it, and he's not getting stuck on the spinnerbait. And if you're not familiar with the Wisconsin River, which most of you are not, it's just lined with bushes and overhanging branches, and a spinnerbait is a great bait for both the largemouth and smallmouth, but you spend a lot of time getting stuck in the branches, especially if you're trying to skip your bait back up under overhanging bushes and things like that. Well, guys, the bait that was brought to my attention is a small custom job called Flatlands Custom Tackle Shimmer Spin. So here's the package, just, you know, nothing special package. This is the bait. It's a spinner bait with a free swinging belly weighted EWG hook on it. So what you can do is you can take whatever bait that you want, but in this case I'd recommend some sort of swim bait, and you take the screw lock and you're going to take that. You're just going to take whatever bait you want, like this Berkeley grass pig, and you're going to screw it on. And what's going to happen is you're basically going to create a weedless spinner bait, which is going to have the free swinging hinge that I love to have when you're talking about spinner baits. So in this case, you've got, let me rig this up. You've just got a weedless spinner bait, Texas rig spinner bait. So it's free swinging, so you have extra motion, which is really key in my opinion anytime you're fishing cover, like laydowns or fishing dock posts, because when you hit that post or you bring it up over a branch, the bait, you know, the blades may flutter one direction and the bait may flutter another, but what happens is it creates a lot of motion, and it also really allows the fish to suck your bait in. And that's one thing, if you've got a spinner bait that's a solid set molded in head, if the fish hits it this way, they can just push the whole bait. They don't get your bait. If they come from the side and suck it in, the bait's actually going to get sucked into the fish's mouth, and you get much better hookups. So I really am a huge fan of what I call free swinging spinner baits. Same thing with like a buzz bait. You can do the same with a buzz bait. But here, the key is, like for me on the river here, I'll go fish bushes with this, and it'll just come through the cover so well. It's basically allowing me to fish a spinner bait in the same manner that I fish a swim jig. You know, like if you're down south right now dealing with the shad spawn, this is a great bait to go with, because if the shad are spawning on hay grass, if they're spawning on, you know, any sort of overhanging tree, anything where you want to get your spinner bait in that area, you need something like this. And I got to tell you, like, I know nothing about Flatland's custom tackle. I don't know where they're located. I don't know how long they've been around. I know this bait is something I wish I had come up with myself, because it's not anything super unconventional, but it's a really well put together bait that solves the issue of a spinner bait not being able to come through brush really well. And the thing is, like, they've got a bunch of really good sizes. Like, you can go on Tackle Warehouse right now, and I'll put the link in the description of the video, and there's not that many of them. It doesn't look like they carry a ton of them, but they carry a bunch of different weights from, like, I think it's like 3/16 all the way up to an ounce. So if you want to fish deep brush piles with a 1 ounce one, and they come with several different sized hooks. So I think they go all the way up to like an 8/0 hook that you can run this through. So you can put a big swim bait on it, fish it super deep if you want to. It looks great. I'm going to take it down to the water right now and just show you the motion on it. But you get good rolling motion out of the bait, and you get a lot of movement from that free swinging hinge, and you can fish it weedless. So let's go check it out. So here it is running. You can see it's a, you know, great running spinner bait, runs true. You get really good side to side wiggle out of the swim bait that you're choosing. When you kill it, you get a little bit different fall. The swim bait goes one direction, the blades go another direction. And it's weedless. That's the best thing about it. So if you want to bring it through grass like that, you can just let it run right through the grass. You get the boot tail action. And honestly, guys, if you want your skirt, you could still mount the skirt on there. Just a really good, simple concept that I wish I had come up with. And it's something that you can use to put your spinnerbait into places that you normally can't get it. Skips really well. Gosh, I'm enjoying this bait. I think it's something you need to check out. Like I said, I'm not sure how many are left, but I'll put the link in the description for Tackle Warehouse. Just something you guys need to have. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned, another video coming out tomorrow. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. There's no reason not to if you don't watch my videos on a regular basis. Stay tuned, another one tomorrow.